This is Geek Out, and the FAA has just issued an emergency order to revoke Trevor Jacobs' private pilot certificate. Let's get into that. So here is the emergency order. The acting administration has determined that an emergency exists related to the safety of air commerce and that immediate action to revoke your private pilot certificate is required. And then they go on to the reasons. It says, you hold a private pilot certificate and an FAA medical. And on or about November 24, you acted as pilot in command of a 1940 Taylorcraft BL-64 aircraft, November 29508, on a flight departing from Lepanque Airport, terminating in the vicinity of Los Padres National Forest. You were the sole occupant. During this flight, you jumped out while wearing a parachute. You operated the flight purposely to cause November 29508 to crash. And it says, prior to this flight, you attached multiple cameras to the outside, including a camera pointed in the direction of the propeller, in order to record the video footage of the outside and the plane during flight. Prior to this flight, you put on a parachute. During this flight, you opened the left side pilot door before you claimed the engine had failed. Prior to jumping out, you made no attempt to contact air traffic control on an emergency frequency. You made no attempt to restart the engine by increasing the airflow to the propeller. You made no attempt to look for areas to land safely, even though there were multiple areas within gliding distance in which you could have made a safe landing. You jumped out while holding a camera attached to a selfie stick. After the crash, you recovered and then disposed of the record. After the crash, you recovered the cameras that you had attached. Your flight on November 24th, as described herein, were careless or reckless so as to endanger the life or property of another. As a result, you violated 14 CFR Part 91.13 Paragraph A of the Federal Aviation Regulations, which states that no person may operate an aircraft in a careless or reckless manner so as to endanger the life or property of another. Effective immediately, your private pilot certificate and any other airman certificates issued to you are revoked. So if you had a remote pilot certificate, you also have to revoke that. Then you must immediately surrender the above referenced certificate by mail or delivery the appeal. You may appeal this within 10 days. You may seek review of the FAA's determination that the emergency exists, and you have 2 days to file that, which basically says, I don't agree with you, it was an emergency. If you fail to surrender the certificate immediately, you will be subject to further legal actions, including a civil penalty of up to $1,644 for each day you fail to surrender it. So now Trevor Jacob has to surrender his certificate and he can appeal, but then basically the FAA when they issue these, when the FAA issues these, they last about a year, and then in that time Trevor Jacob can then reapply to get his airman certificates back, but he has to take the written and the practical tests. So that's not an easy task. Now Martha Lunkin, who is a editor for Flying Magazine, as you know, she flew under a bridge. Her license was revoked, and then she basically had to do the same thing. She now took the test, passed that, and then she took the practical interview and flight test and passed that. So now she has her pilot license back and she can fly. I'm not sure if she's going to go for all her other, she had quite a bit of other certificates, commercial flight instructor, I don't know if she had an ATP, but she'd have to go and retake all those as well in order to exercise those privileges. But we'll see if Trevor Jacob will actually end up getting his license back in the year. Well, what do you think? Do you think it's fair that Trevor Jacob's license was suspended or revoked? Let me know in the comments. See you in the next one.